Hello, and welcome to this week's thoughts on the My Family devotional book that we're going through this year. Not much left, so I hope you're able to finish strong throughout this book. It's been a really good study, really good devotional book to go through. This week's talking about helping our children to think positively about the church, and this is a really cool subject to think about, and even not just our children but ourselves. Like how can we change our mindsets to think more positively about the church? A lot of times, and he mentions this a lot on the first Devo, if you read Monday's devotional, about just watching our language about the church, especially around our children. Language seeps in and can affect how we feel and how we think and how we act and our motivation towards something. If we're constantly speaking negatively about something or somebody, then naturally it's going to change our desire to be a part of that thing, to be with that person. If you just, for example, if you think of your relationship with another person, if you constantly speak negatively about that person and about what they do and about how they act, and all you can do is just think negatively and talk negatively, it's eventually going to change how you feel inside about that other person. And soon you're not going to want to be around that person. You're not going to want to be a part of that person's life, and you're going to naturally try to avoid that person, right? Same goes for the church. If we continue to speak negatively about the church, even when we have maybe some differences in opinion on what, like, man, I wish we would have done this, or I wish we would have sang this song, or I wish we would have been a little shorter, or I don't know. You can fill in the blank a little bit. It's going to change our feelings toward the church. And sometimes when the church isn't even necessarily doing anything, it's just not doing it the way I want it to be done. And we start speaking negatively, that's going to change how we feel, and we're going to naturally distance ourselves. And two, if our children hear that, or even friends or relatives, this doesn't have to be limited to children, whoever we're around, if they constantly hear us speaking negatively about the church, that's going to change their feelings too. And you can start to influence other people's relationship with the church, and they're going to see the church in a different light and kind of pull away a little bit. So this has a lot to do with some of the core of what we're trying to do. And if we're speaking negatively all the time, that's going against what we're trying to do. So just watching our language and how we speak about the church, and it can be simple stuff, or is just, especially if you have kids, of changing our attitude when we're going to church. I know, especially on Wednesday nights, there can be a lot going on, and it can be hard to get to church. You're in a rush, things are going on, and it can be like oh man, all right, we have to pack up, we have to go to church. And it can feel like that sometimes, and that's okay. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It sometimes, especially Wednesdays, it can be hard, and it can be a challenge to find time and to create time and to get to church, even with the best intentions, right? We can still approach it with a negative mindset, and that kind of rubs off too. If our kids see us as like, okay, we just have to get to church, even if you're not meaning it that way, that can have a little bit of a negative effect. So if we just try to change our mindset and say, all right, man, we get to go to, like, hey kids, we get to go to church today. Like, I know it's been a crazy day, and I know it's been wild. We're going all over the place, but hey, we get to go to a place where we get to kind of relax and be around people who will encourage and uplift us, and most importantly, get to worship the God who made us. So even trying to make small adjustments about how we speak and think about church around our kids and around our peers even. And two, just trying to instill the mindset of what church is in our children, and teaching them that, church isn't just this place we go to, right? But church is meant to be a family. It's meant to, we often use the word church family, but we treat it like a church community, right? Like it's just this little community of people that we go to and spend a little time with. While it seems like that's just a small change of phrase, viewing the church as a community and viewing it as a family are two different things. I'm more devoted to my family than I am my community. Maybe that's a bad thing, but um, maybe not. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing. Uh, Naturally, I'm going to be more committed to my family than I am my community. And if we view church as just this side little community, well, it's not going to become as important. But if we see it as our church family, which I think it is, then that kind of creates a different mindset of what we're trying to do. And I want to love and cherish and give uh, and help the church like it's my family, not like it's just this side community, but like it's truly my family, and of course God's family, right? And so hopefully those just a couple of thoughts to be able to spur you along this week as we talk to our kids and with our kids about what church really is, and saying, hey, we're a part of this family, and we want us to treat it like a family, and we want to talk about it like a family. So, as always, go back and read the devotionals. They're really good this week. But go back and read what he has to say. And hope you're able to join us tonight and join the church family and be able to worship here at our midweek service or Sunday mornings. Always welcome to get plugged in. And we're always here to answer any questions, be of any assistance we can. Hope you have a great rest of the week.